Hello friends, welcome to Y&R Today on this channel. We regularly share the latest news and spoilers from American TV shows. So, let's get into today's important update. Will Y&R's Lily face the consequences of her secret alliance with the Newmans? On The Young and the Restless, March 30th, Lily had to face the fallout of her secret alliance with the Newmans. Despite her fierce protectiveness of her family in the past, Lily's decision to collude with the enemy leaves her on her own as her brother and cousin demand answers for her short-sighted betrayal. Key takeaways. Devin and Nate were blindsided by Lily's dealings with Victor Newman, leading to an explosive confrontation that threatens to dissolve their professional partnership. Victor's influence proves toxic to the Winters family once again, as Lily realizes her partnership with the mustache was a piece in his chess game. History repeats itself as Lily's failures to learn from her past put her family's legacy at risk of a takeover. History repeats itself. Lily Newman's gamble. Lily, Crystal Khalil, proved that she's unable to learn from her past mistakes. She returned to Genoa City with high hopes of acquiring Chancellor Industries and of her ex-husband folding. She was too confident that her deal with Victor, Eric Braden, would work, even though he had screwed her over in the past. Her inability to learn from her past mistakes has led her back into a dangerous alliance with Victor. Not only has this plan exploded in her face, but it's also undermined her own growth as a leader. Her family should question whether she should remain at the forefront of their company. A house divided. Devin and Nate demand answers. On Monday's episode, Lily had to face a difficult confrontation with Nate, Sean Dominic, and Devin, Brighton James. They were excited to see Lily back safe and sound. But those feelings quickly faded away once they caught onto Lily's lies. Lily admitted that she wasn't abducted. At first, she struggled with her words. Lily explained that it was a ruse to force Kane's, Billy Flynn, hand with Newman Enterprises. For her, it was necessary to make Kane believe they were in danger. Understandably, Devin is upset because everyone thought she was in danger. Lily is aware that what she did was wrong, but she felt like it was the right thing to do at the time. Even the twins were on board with the plan. The cost of betrayal. Chancellor Winters in jeopardy. Lily hasn't realized the true costs of this plan. This lack of transparency puts her family's company at risk of a hostile takeover by Newman. Once again, she has lost the trust and respect of her brother and cousin. Devin accused Lily of being no better than Kane, and he's right. The only way they can trust her is if she cuts her losses and walks away from Kane for everyone's sake. Will Lily finally face the consequences of her actions and deal with the fallout? Or will she continue defending her behavior? In the ever-shifting landscape of the young and the restless, alliances are currency, secrets are weapons, and loyalty is often nothing more than a temporary illusion. And now, at the center of a brewing storm stands Lily Winters, a woman who has fought tirelessly to rebuild her life, her reputation, and her place in Genoa City, only to find herself teetering on the edge of scandal once again. The question on everyone's mind is simple yet explosive. Will Lily finally face the consequences of her secret alliance with the powerful Newman family? For weeks, subtle clues have hinted that Lily may not be as transparent as she appears. While she has presented herself as a strong, independent leader, focused on business and family, whispers have begun to circulate that her recent success may not be entirely her own doing. Behind closed doors, sources suggest that Lily has been quietly working with none other than Victor Newman, a man known for pulling strings and manipulating outcomes to suit his agenda. And if there's one thing Genoa City residents know, it's that any deal with Victor comes at a price. At first glance, the idea of Lily aligning herself with the Newmans might seem strategic rather than scandalous. After all, Victor's empire is unmatched, and his influence could open doors that would otherwise remain firmly shut. For someone like Lily, who has endured heartbreak, betrayal, and professional setbacks, the opportunity to secure her future might have been too tempting to resist. But the deeper implications of such an alliance are far more dangerous than she may have anticipated. The situation becomes even more complicated when considering Lily's history with the Newman family, particularly with Victoria Newman and Adam Newman. Both have their own complicated relationships with power, loyalty, and control, and neither is known for sharing the spotlight willingly. If Lily has indeed struck a deal that benefits her at their expense, the fallout could be swift and unforgiving. Victoria, in particular, is unlikely to take kindly to any perceived betrayal. As someone who has fought tooth and nail to prove herself within her father's empire, she views loyalty as non-negotiable. If she discovers that Lily has been working behind the scenes with Victor, possibly undermining her authority or influencing key decisions, it could ignite a confrontation that shakes the very foundation of Newman Enterprises. Victoria doesn't just protect her power, she defends it with precision and intensity, and Lily may soon find herself directly in her line of fire. Meanwhile, Adam's reaction could be even more unpredictable. Known for his cunning and willingness to play the long game, Adam might see Lily's secret alliance as either a threat or an opportunity. If he believes that Lily's involvement with Victor gives her leverage, he could attempt to outmaneuver her, exposing her secret at the most damaging possible moment. Alternatively, he might try to recruit her to his side, turning her into a double agent in the ongoing Newman family power struggle. Either way, Adam's involvement would add another layer of danger to an already volatile situation. But perhaps the most significant risk Lily faces is not from the Newmans themselves, but from those closest to her. Trust is a fragile thing, and Lily has worked hard to rebuild hers after past mistakes. If her secret alliance comes to light, it could shatter the confidence of those who have stood by her side, friends, colleagues, and loved ones who believed in her integrity. There's also the emotional toll to consider. Lily is no stranger to difficult choices, but aligning herself with Victor Newman represents a moral gray area that could weigh heavily on her conscience. Every decision she makes under this alliance carries consequences, not just for her career, but for her relationships and her sense of self. The longer she keeps the secret, the more difficult it will be to reconcile her actions with the person she wants to be. And then there's the question of Victor's true intentions. While he may present the alliance as mutually beneficial, history has shown that Victor always has an endgame, and it rarely favors anyone but himself. If Lily believes she can outmaneuver him or maintain control of the situation, she may be underestimating just how calculated and relentless he can be. Once she's served her purpose, Victor could easily turn the tables, leaving her to deal with the fallout alone. As tensions continue to rise, the possibility of exposure becomes increasingly likely. All it would take is one misplaced document, one overheard conversation, or one suspicious rival digging a little too deep for the truth to come crashing into the open. And when it does, the repercussions could be devastating. Imagine the moment the secret is revealed. The stunned silence, the accusations, the sense of betrayal that ripples through Genoa City. Lily would be forced to defend her choices, to explain why she aligned herself with a man who has caused so much pain to so many. Some might understand her reasoning, seeing it as a necessary move in a cutthroat world. Others would see it as a betrayal of everything she claims to stand for. The professional consequences could be just as severe. Business partners may distance themselves, unwilling to be caught in the crossfire of Newman family drama. Opportunities could vanish overnight, replaced by scrutiny and suspicion. Lily's carefully constructed reputation could unravel, leaving her to pick up the pieces once again. Yet, in true Y&R fashion, adversity often brings unexpected opportunities. If Lily can navigate the fallout with intelligence and resilience, she might emerge stronger than ever. Exposure could force her to confront difficult truths, to redefine her priorities, and to rebuild her life on her own terms. It could also open the door for new alliances, ones based on transparency rather than secrecy. There's also the possibility that Lily isn't as vulnerable as she appears. What if her alliance with Victor is part of a larger strategy? What if she's been playing her own game, using the Newmans as much as they're using her? If that's the case, the eventual reveal could turn the narrative on its head, positioning Lily not as a victim of circumstance, but as a formidable player in her own right. Still, even the most carefully laid plans can go awry, especially in a world as unpredictable as Genoa City. The interplay of ambition, loyalty, and deception creates a volatile mix, and Lily is right at the center of it. Every move she makes from this point forward will be critical, shaping not only her own future, but the dynamics of power within the Newman Empire. As viewers continue to watch this storyline unfold, one thing is certain: the stakes have never been higher. Lily's secret alliance has the potential to redefine her character, for better or worse, and to set off a chain reaction that affects everyone around her. Whether she ultimately faces consequences, or manages to turn the situation to her advantage, remains to be seen. But if there's one lesson to be learned from the history of the young and the restless, it's this: secrets never stay buried for long. And when they come to light, they have a way of changing everything. As the pressure mounts in the young and the restless, the cracks in Lily Winter's carefully constructed world begin to widen, and what was once a calculated risk starts to spiral into a full-blown crisis. The deeper she gets entangled with Victor Newman, the harder it becomes to separate her own ambitions from a shadowy agenda, and that distinction may soon become irrelevant as suspicion spreads across Genoa City like wildfire. What Lily didn't anticipate was just how quickly people around her would start noticing subtle changes. Her decisions at work become bolder, more aggressive, almost mirroring Victor's signature style. Deals that once seemed out of reach suddenly fall into place with suspicious ease. And while success should be celebrated, in this town, success, without explanation, often invites scrutiny. It doesn't take long before quiet whispers begin turning into pointed questions. One of the first to truly sense that something is off is Billy Abbott. Having shared both personal and professional history with Lily, Billy knows her instincts, her values, and the way she operates under pressure. When her choices begin to clash with a woman he thought he knew, alarm bells start ringing. Billy isn't one to ignore his gut, and once he starts digging, he rarely stops until he uncovers the truth, no matter how messy it gets. At first, Billy approaches Lily cautiously, giving her the chance to come clean. Their conversations are layered with tension, unspoken accusations lingering beneath polite exchanges. Lily deflects, offering half-truths and carefully crafted explanations, but Billy isn't convinced. In fact, her evasiveness only fuels his determination. And as he begins connecting the dots, the possibility of her involvement with Victor becomes impossible to ignore. Meanwhile, Devin Hamilton finds himself caught in an emotional crossfire. Lily is family, someone he trusts implicitly, yet even he can't deny that her recent behavior feels off. Devin's loyalty runs deep, but so does his sense of integrity. If Lily is truly entangled with Victor in a way that could jeopardize their shared interests or harm those they care about, Devin will be forced to confront her, and that confrontation could be one of the most heartbreaking moments yet. Devin's approach is very different from Billy's. Where Billy pushes, Devin pleads. He wants to believe there's a reasonable explanation, that Lily hasn't crossed a line she can't come back from. But Lily's silence speaks volumes, and as the truth edges closer to the surface, the strain on their relationship becomes almost unbearable. Trust, once broken, is not easily repaired, and Lily may be on the verge of losing one of her strongest allies. As for the Newmans, the internal dynamics grow increasingly volatile. Victoria Newman begins noticing discrepancies in company operations, decisions that don't quite align with her directives, moves that suggest someone else is influencing Victor behind the scenes. Victoria prides herself on being in control, and the idea that she might be outmaneuvered, even by her own father, doesn't sit well with her. When Victoria starts tracing the source of these irregularities, all roads lead back to Lily. At first, the notion seems almost absurd. Lily isn't family, isn't part of the inner circle, but that's precisely what makes it so dangerous. An outsider with insider access is a threat Victoria cannot afford to ignore. And once she starts investigating, it's only a matter of time before she uncovers enough evidence to confirm her suspicions. On the other side, Adam Newman watches the unfolding drama with keen interest. Adam thrives in chaos, and Lily's secret alliance presents him with a golden opportunity. Unlike Victoria, who reacts with anger and a sense of betrayal, Adam sees potential leverage. If he can EXP. But Adam doesn't rush. He observes, gathers information, and waits for the perfect moment to strike. And in doing so, he becomes one of the most dangerous players in this already high-stakes game. Because when Adam makes his move, it won't just be about exposing Lily. It will be about maximizing the fallout. Back at the center of it all, Lily finds herself increasingly isolated. The very alliance that was supposed to secure her future is now threatening to destroy everything she's built. Conversations become strained. Alliances feel fragile, and every interaction carries the weight of potential discovery. She starts to realize that she may have underestimated the emotional cost of her decision. There are moments when Lily considers coming clean, telling Devon, explaining everything to Billy, even confronting Victoria head-on. But each time, fear holds her back. Fear of losing their trust, fear of the consequences, fear of confirming that she's become exactly the kind of person she once vowed never to be. And so, she continues to walk a tightrope, trying to maintain balance as the winds around her grow stronger. Victor, of course, remains as composed as ever. To him, this is all part of the game. He anticipated resistance, suspicion, even betrayal. What matters is the end result, and as long as Lily continues to serve as objectives, her personal struggles are secondary. But there's a subtle shift in his demeanor as the situation escalates, a recognition that Lily may be reaching her breaking point. And when someone like Lily reaches that point, they can either crumble or they can fight back. The turning point comes when Billy finally uncovers undeniable proof of Lily's connection to Victor. It's not speculation anymore, it's fact. Documents, communications, a clear trail that paints a damning picture. Armed with this information, Billy faces a choice: confront Lily privately and give her one last chance, or expose her publicly and let the chips fall where they may. At the same time, Victoria closes in, her own investigation leading her to the same conclusion. Two separate paths, both converging on the same explosive truth. And as fate would have it, those paths are about to collide in the most dramatic way possible. The stage is set for a confrontation that could change everything. Secrets are on the verge of being exposed, alliances are about to be tested, and Lily stands at the center of it all, with nowhere left to hide. Will she confess before it's too late? Will she attempt to outmaneuver her rivals and regain control of the narrative? Or will the truth come crashing out in a way that leaves her powerless to contain the damage? One thing is certain, the fallout from Lily's secret alliance is no longer a question of if, but when. And when that moment arrives, it won't just be Lily who faces the consequences. The ripple effects will touch every corner of Genoa City, reshaping relationships, shifting power dynamics, and setting the stage for the next chapter of drama in a world where trust is fleeting and betrayal is always just one step away.